Hi guys, this is Mr. Urrego, and today we're graphing inverse functions. We'll be talking about one-to-one functions, vertical line tests, and horizontal line tests. All right, let's go. First, so we're going to graph a function. So let's say I'm going to graph something like this. Okay, you notice I drew the line y equals x. Why? Because this line is the line of symmetry between my function and my inverse. That means my inverse function is going to be in the other side. I want to graph the inverse. It's going to be a reflection across this line. So if we start at 3 here, then my inverse is going to be something like that. Okay? So it's a mirror across the line y equals x. So this line serves as a line of symmetry between my function and my inverse function. All right, let's try another one. I have something like this. Whatever part of the graph is on this side, my mirror, the inverse, will be the other side. And then this that is on the bottom, it will be on the top. So this is my inverse function, right? So it's a mirror across the line y equals x. Okay, now let's be more precise. What about if I have something like this? If you notice, I put some points on my graph. Why? Because this is going to help me graph my inverse. So let's create table values for this function. Okay, this is my function, x and y. Okay, so let's write -7, -2 for the x values. I'm writing the x values. And let's write the y values with another color. So the -7, -2, -7, -2, -2, 2, and 6,3. Alright, so the x values are blue, the y values are magenta. Let's find the inverse function. So to find my inverse function, what I'm going to do is just flip the values. Whatever I have my x values will become my y values. So my x for my inverse will become my y, -2 and 6. And my y values will become my x values. So that's why the x value is the domain, right? This is the domain for this, and this is the range for my function. What happens is they'll flip. Domain for my function will become the range for my inverse. The range for my function will become the domain for my inverse. They flip. Now that I have these points, let's graph them. Let's graph them magenta. So let's plot these points, -2, -7. So -2, -7, all the way down here. 2, -2, 1, 2, -2, and last one 3, 6, 3, and it goes all the way up here. If I connect these points, I hope you see the reflection. What used to be above now is below, and what used to be below now is above. So this is the inverse function, and this is the easiest way how to graph an inverse function. Any inverse function, create a table of values, flip the x and the y. Let's graph another one. All right, now a function is going to be given, and the question is graph the function and the inverse. This is a linear function, so I have -4 as my y-intercept, and then my slope is 3/1. So I go up 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the right. So I have points already. I need to draw a line through them. Straight line, straight line. Ugh. Not too straight. Okay, so this is my function. Let's create table values for my inverse. So I just flip the values and I graph my inverse. This is 0, -4. This is 1, -1. This is 2, 2. And this point is 3, 5. Okay, for my inverse, flip the values. What's x goes as y, 0, 1, 2, and 3. What's y goes as x, -4, -1, 2, and 5. Now this is my inverse. Let's graph this. So my inverse will be magenta, all right? -4, 0, -4, 0, -1, 1, -1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. This is where they intersect. and 5,3. 5, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's draw a line, and we're gonna have that this is my inverse function. I hope you see the symmetry among them. Okay, reflection of the blue line over my red line, which is y equals x, you get the magenta line. Now, what happens is the following. Sometimes you'll get a graph like this, a quadratic function, but then you have a restriction in your domain, okay? And if I'm going to graph my quadratic function, you know that that's a parabola. It's a parabola. But do I want the whole thing? No, I only want the values that are greater than or equal to 0. So I just want from here to the side. This is all what I want. I don't want this. Okay? So let's graph that. The easy way to do this is to create a table of values and flip the values. So because I want greater than 0, my first value is going to be 0. Greater, 1, 2, 3. Plug it in here. 0, square, 0, 1, square, 1, 2, square, 4, 3, squares 9. And now this is going to be out of my graph. Let's plot these values. And I'm graphing my function. 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9, 3, something like around there. Now for this, it's good for me to know what shape is my graph. Remember, this is a parabola, so it's curve and it goes up. It's a curve, not a straight line. Okay, let's graph the inverse. Create a table of values, which means I'm not doing anything now. I'm just flipping the values. 0, 0, nothing to flip. 1, 1, nothing to flip. But now the 2 goes for my y and the 3 goes for my y. This y goes as my x, this goes as my x. And now I plot these values. 0, 0, 1, 1. Now it's 4, 2. 4, 2, and 9, 3. 9, 3, right? Something around here. Okay, so curve. Oops. Okay, you get the idea. So now this is going to be my inverse function, and this is the easiest way how to graph an inverse. All right. Next, is this a one-to-one function? How do we know? We need to know what's a vertical line test and what's a horizontal line test. What do they do to this? So first of all, vertical line test. We use it to check if a graph is a function. If it passes, it's a function. If it doesn't, it's not a function. Horizontal line test, to check if the inverse of this graph is a function. If both of them are passes the horizontal and the vertical line test, then we'll get a one-to-one function. Let's check. We have a graph. Vertical line test. It's just a vertical line. Touches 1, touches 1, touches 1. So it passes, therefore this is a function. Horizontal line test. Touches at only 1. Wherever I draw my horizontal line, if it touches only 1 point, that means the inverse of this graph is also a function, because it passes the vertical line test is a function. Because it passes the horizontal line test, the inverse of the graph will be a function. Therefore, this is a one-to-one function. Is this a one-to-one function? Let's check. Is this a function? Yeah, it's touching only 1 point. It is a function. Let's test for horizontal line test. Oh, I'm touching 2 points, so it failed the horizontal line test. Therefore, this is not a one-to-one function. What about this one? Is this a one-to-one function? Vertical line test. Oh, it failed the vertical line test. So this is not even a function to start with. Therefore, do I need the horizontal line test? No, it's not a one-to-one function because it failed to be a function originally. What about this one? Only 1, only 1, only 1. So it's a one-to-one function, according to vertical line test, right now is a function. Let's check if it passes the horizontal line test. No. You see that? Wherever I draw a horizontal line, it's touching more than one point. Therefore, it didn't pass the horizontal line test, so it's not a one-to-one function. What about this one? Is this a one-to-one function? Vertical line test. Okay. So yes, it's a function. Let's check if it passes the horizontal line test. It does. It's only touching one point. So yes, because it's passing the vertical line test and the horizontal line test, that means this is a one-to-one function. Let me explain something. If we're going to graph the inverse of this function, remember we have the line of symmetry, which is something like that, right? And if we're going to graph the inverse of this function, it will be something like this. Okay, so let's graph it here. I'm going to graph only the inverse. Okay, so it's a reflection. So it's something like this. All right, this is my inverse function. So what does the horizontal line test? It's checking. The question is this also a function? Right? How do we test for a function? Vertical line. So, oh, yes. So that's what the horizontal line test does. Okay? When I go across, it's telling me without graphing the inverse, it's telling me, oh yes, it will pass or not. It will be a function or not. Okay? Alright guys, I hope this helped. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, ask questions in the comment section. Okay? Help me get into the algorithm for YouTube. Alright, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.